Oh wait, we're not live. We're not live. We're not live.
We're not live? Oh, come on.
And we're not. We're live now.
Oh. And delays.
I forgot to press the button. Press the button.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Hey everybody. Hope you guys having a good morning, evening, night, whenever you're watching this. I'm Sprite Star, and I'm with Wishstream, and welcome to Aether's Workshop Starry Eyes.
Welcome back, guys. Second episode.
Yes.
We got a lot of tackle today.
Yes,
Who's starting it this time?
We got a good bit of submissions coming in, and we're gonna try and kind of roll these out kind of fast because we got a lot going on. So we're gonna start off that one. Got the order mixed up. Okay. There we go.
The one that's Tundress is the start?
Yes, Tundress is first. I kind of gave a lot on it last stream, so if you would like to start on this one, Wish.
Yeah.
I kind of gave a lot. That is too.
Yeah, I accidentally played our stream over the stream. Okay.
Professional start.
Okay, so this one, actually, I'm terrible at this. It looks to me it's perfectly fine actually. It's just that, like, the landing animation kind of like a bit stiff, like leading towards the end. Basically, it's like it just snaps in place instead of like smoothly going there. And at the same time, also it's like your body doesn't seem to like lean down when you're falling. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's just a stiff animation. Just adding a little more turns and stuff would help with that. Look at references.
Also, we got a request to turn down the music a bit. So you don't mind it.
My mistake. Last stream we had the music too low, and now it's too loud. But I'm glad that we got. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next one, and that will be 2B, and it's really big. This is really big. Okay. Just give me a second. Hopefully, I'm gonna have to like announce in the next stream that try to keep things in a certain ratio. I'll have to come up with the numbers for that later. But anyway, we have 2B. This animation, it works, especially for the kind of stance that it is. Mainly, like, the biggest thing that's screaming out to me right now is like the flow of the dress or the skirt. It's pretty stationary considering the motion. I would probably say just adding like kind of a bounce to it.
Which is a tiny shit.
Yeah.
I think.
It's just a little bounce will work. It's nothing anything major. Also, there's a lot of it's immediate jumps to one position to the other. And I understand that it's like the resolution and all that. These are pretty small sprites. It's kind of hard to get the movements where you want it to go. But there is like some helpful, nice little tricks on like moving, not the whole sprite, but a couple of pixels at a time in between where the foot is all the heel's on the ground and then the heel is up. I'll have to illustrate that at another time, but yeah, just adding the bounce of the dress to help with the general motion of the character, and then like slight pixel manipulation in certain frames. Overall, a pretty good sprite. It's heading towards the right direction. We just need the polish it a little more. Alright,
Mm-hmm.
and the next one will be basketball down on the list.
I'm starting to think we're going at this too fast.
Really?
Yeah, a bit. It's just been 6 minutes in.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright, we'll
Anyway,
slow
we'll
it down
go
a
back to
little
that.
bit. Slow it
Mhm.
down a little bit.
We'll go back to some. We'll go back to some of them,
Yeah.
when if we have some time.
Yeah.
All right. The next one is one of my favorites. It's actually the abyss element inside the Ethos Workshop logo. It's RFL.
Very. I know this is not like a something for the stream, but I really do love this design. I really do. This character looks so sick. Really excited to see what else this guy is making for this character.
And Sprite Star. Your mic needs to be turned up.
And
People
I
see.
just love.
Or either you turn it down and the music.
Probably that's it. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that should work better too.
All right, there we go. Sorry
Right.
for the little problem there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we've got RFL here. And it's mostly perfect. The flow of the scarf part, is it scarf part or the fluff part? I forgot. But it looks unnatural. It's like looks like it's just stretching and stuff, like flowing down. For the motion of like going down, I feel that the head is too stationary. It's going down at a very consistent rate, where it just looks like it needs a little bit more push down when you reach like the bottom pose. And I feel like the for the animation of the tail, you could go with a smooth one on here, but I understand if it's like if it needs to be like fast. In this case, you may want to change how the smear looks like. You may want to add the outline or change the smear type on this one, because I believe that kind of smear is sort of reserved for like attacks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Because other than
oh yeah, continue.
it kind of looks unnatural. So the bottom of the jacket, it looks kind of unnatural a bit, so it just needs to smooth out as it goes down. Like I feel like the consistency looks like it's also static, and only like you just added a few pixels at the very end. In that case, you might want to like flatten down a bit as it goes down. That's pretty much what I could see here.
One extra thing that I would add is the legs. There's a part in the animation where the character is bending downward at the knee, but it seems like the knee kind of travels down as well. Like the thigh is growing a little bit. Where it looks
I
like
did not notice that.
Yeah. This is another maintaining form thing. It's more so on the back, like the one more forward leg. The back leg is fine, but maybe adding, well, just making sure that the shin part of the leg is still the same length when he's bending down. Just like making sure like the bend is working correctly. For this one, it definitely does help when you're actually like doing this like you're doing this idle stance. I do this I actually did this a lot when I was trying to figure out what Olympia's pose would be for her idol, and even after animating it, like as I was away from my computer doing stuff around the house, I would do that animation to see if that felt natural or I didn't hurt myself while doing it. So yeah, it's just something that you can probably like practice IRL and kind of get the feel of it, and then like notice what's going on there and implementing it in your animation. So
There's a slight thing I would add also. It's the jacket on the thigh.
yeah, it's also, oh wow, yeah, the jacket's kind of wide, isn't it? I just noticed that. Yeah. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, just I guess fixing that, just moving the jacket a little bit closer towards like the actual body instead of trying to have it drape over the leg. Kind of looks like a giant bag he's wearing instead of a jacket. But yeah.
Yeah. Or you could go the other way too. That works too.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to sell in both directions, not try to do one or the other. So that's your call on that.
All right, next one.
All right, we are both excited about this one because.
Oh yeah. It's the smug fox. You know what? Smug fox.
This is a neat little character. Now it was hard to really understand what was going on with it because of the small size. But when it's blown up, it works extremely well. The only problem that I would say is that it has personality, but it's not really showing it as well as it could. There's a lot of things you could probably do with that, like probably have like one of his legs like kind of like tapping or something, or adding like a slight bounce in some frames.
You could add a shoulder move too.
Oh
like
yeah.
adjusting it.
Oh yeah, that's also when you're breathing. Yeah, you can like breathe like normally in like your just chest and your torso is moving, but to exaggerate that motion, you also like move your shoulders like up or back, and that would definitely help a lot, as well as like having the head slightly go up a pixel. Again, this is a really well made sprite. I love what you did with the tail. The tail looks great. It's the thing that has the most motion right now, because it's constant. But you did a really good job illustrating how the tail moves. But the only tips that I would probably give is to see if you can add a little more personality to this character. It has a good bit, but you can sell it a lot more with just a little bit more motion here and there, mainly in the shoulders and the head. Anything else you want to add before we move on to the next example?
From what I'm seeing, it's like the canvas is a bit too small.
Oh, yeah,
I suggest of expanding it a little bit, so you could like add like you have space on like if you choose to like do like a small breathing up kind of bob too.
Yeah,
it could also work, and like some extra movement, because like I feel like it's a bit too small right now, and that's why we're probably just it's standing in place.
Yeah.
Other than that, you're doing a great job, even with the subpixel animation on the eyes. It's just it works really well.
You know a lot more about pixel art than probably give yourself credit for it. You're doing a good job. Really good job. Okay. On to the next. And that would be
Sergeant Karura.
Yes, the frog dude.
Mr. Frog Dude, the lazy gunpla building toad.
Yeah.
Alright. So a bit this one I noticed right away is like when I'm seeing it is that you have great subpixel animations on it.
Oh yeah, subpixel animation on this is beautiful.
And there's not a lot of things you have to change because of like Karoru's personality in this one. Maybe maybe just like the other one, it's just you need to add more motion to sell it. Like right now, it's perfectly fine. And another thing is that I feel like the shoulder doesn't move too much for some reason. Like the sub pixel is there. It's just that it's not a bit, as much as it could be.
Yeah.
Legs, don't really need to focus on that. Maybe a bit above on the actual body itself, but in this case, it's just like the other one where you need to add a bit more of Carol's personality to the mix.
Yeah.
You could also like add like a bob up and down on breathing.
And
That's just me.
a
Anything?
very common like thing that a lot of pixel artists and pixel animators seem to forget is that adding personality to the animation is just as important as the animation itself. Because anyone can make a sprite animated and it's just like them breathing, but the thing that makes your character is showing the personality of said character. There's loads of examples. K Dash is the one that comes to mind from King of Fighters because even though he's kind of like an edge character, but his animations is he gets ready to fight and he's like, I don't want to do it. Like he's just so nonchalant with it, and it doesn't take a lot to do those kind of animations, but the making that extra step to add that personality will do wonders for your characters. So just keep what that personality will be for that character and try to find some nice little way of illustrating that, and that will send you flying into like the better direction. Like you'll get a handle on what to do with your animations with just keeping the personality like in mind. Yeah.
You could try like test out different poses, like doing it in real life too. If you can't nail it down.
Yeah.
And then from there, you could try and notice like how much your body moves from there, and then you could translate that to the character. That's like my best advice because that's what I did for most of the characters I do.
Yeah.
Inside like game development.
But
it also works for moves too.
It works for all types of animation. But as far as this character, you're doing pretty solid job. You know what you're doing. Just need to sell the animation a little more with a little bit of a head bob or shoulder movement, things like that. Adding personality. That's all. I'm gonna move over to the next character, which is a clown that I've seen a little bit of in the main workshop. These things they're so various in size. Okay, there you go.
We should like have like every character be at like 300% zoom already.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Because all I know is that this character, I'm gonna call it Stars and Stripes. That might not be the character at all, like the character's name. But yeah, that's what I've seen up. They're pretty good. This, it's hard to pick out what to fix other than the cap. I feel like the bells on the hat don't jingle like they need to. So probably adding a little bit of a jingle after the hat rest would be like just simple, like move a pixel left and right, especially on the top. The very top of the hat is kind of stationary. So probably just like moving like literally 1 or 2 pixels around will help it. The hand is like the hand with the wand is kind of, I don't know, the pixels look kind of weird to me. I can't pinpoint why. I think it's the like really really fast motion of it all. But yeah, I think this is a pretty good example. Um,
I have something to add to that, actually.
yeah, go for it.
If you notice a bit, it's like the bounce is a bit unnatural,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Like,
it's
it could use like an extra frame at the bottom and maybe an extra frame at the top too. It just feels unnatural. It's like
yeah,
a bit too instant for
it's
someone who's flying.
yeah, it's not much. There's not much of a hold there.
Mm-hmm. And I also noticed the shading on the hair at the back. Like it feels like like the hair should be in the front, but in reality it should be in the back. So don't be afraid to like add like a darker shade behind when it's behind the character. Otherwise, it just looks like it's weird.
Yeah, shadow values are very important.
Mm-hmm. So just give it a little bit of depth on the back side of the hair,
Yeah,
and then fix the bob up and down.
yeah,
That's pretty much it. Also
yeah.
the hand.
Yeah. The it's probably just like that extra pixel on one of like the frame where the hand is moving the most outward. Just moving like a couple of pixels in to match with the rest of them should do the trick. Otherwise, very solid animation. One tiny thing, um, there's a frame where the legs are separated for literally like 1 or 2 frames, and there isn't a line there to show that the rest of the hair is behind it, so it looks like there's like this weird divide there. Um, if that's intentional, then keep it. But if that's like an accident or like an oversight, definitely definitely address that. Just adding like
Oh wait, I noticed something on the left leg, the one with the red stripe. Have you noticed how it's just elongating?
yeah, it's like the Abyss Wolf character, where the the knee is like moving down. Um, yeah, I just like moving those pixels back up, or moving some of the pixels to the side to make. Well, no, that wouldn't work for this. Just moving
It
those
doesn't.
pixels
It
up.
doesn't need to. Yeah, it doesn't need to be, as dramatic. Like every frame needs to move now. It doesn't have to be. It could just animate in twos, basically.
Yeah. Uh, other than those points, pretty solid. Pretty solid. Like how all this is looking. Uh, another character that I'm very excited for to see in action. But we're gonna move to the next one, and that is gonna be the boy, the biggest of boy. This dude, I remember seeing him just being shown in the original, like the OG workshop, like OG Rivals of Aether server, and floored me with the design alone.
I love it like so much. You have no idea.
This is a really
I
good
believe
character.
they're also like an actual part of the ROA universe.
Yeah,
I think.
but yeah. Let's get started on a little bit of these
Mhm.
because
Um, it's just really minor nitpicks here. Really minor nitpicks. At least for me, on my end.
yeah,
And the first thing I already noticed is the loincloth moving naturally.
yeah,
I mean, maybe it's not that bad because like you're moving like forward a bit. It's just a bit unnatural, but to me it looks pretty okay. It's just a minor nitpick. I mean, you could keep it in there if you wanted.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, three-dimensional. You just missed it. You just missed your own section. Oh, don't worry. There's a VOD for this. Alright. And the other one is like maybe a bit of the hair.
yeah, the I like how the hair, because the hair is supposed to be fire. It's the same thing with Zetterburn, with Zetterburn's mane. Um, I do like the fact that it's kind of controlled. Definitely does help with like the overall design of the character. Um, it kind of just, when the flare flies off in like 5 or 6 frames, I think, probably like 3 or 4. It kind of just looks like it's just being taken off instead of it moving as if it's fire. Um, Keeping like the front part of the hair like stationary, I think is a really nice call. But if you're trying to sell it to be fire, probably do a little bit of like pixel manipulation at the tail end of it. You're kind of doing it at the very bottom of it, so just emulate that kind of motion at the top. Just look at Zetterburn sprites. If you don't have them like frame by frame, just go into the tutorial, put it at like 0.25% speed, and just watch it move. But yeah, I think everything else is pretty solid.
Oh, there's not much. Well, there's one more nitpick. I noticed like it doesn't look like the hand is gripping the hammer
Yeah,
fairly well. It's just like a minor pixel adjustment here and there. It doesn't just make it look like it's gripping.
yeah,
It kind of like looks like right now it's like super loose on the top part. Like I know that's gonna be like a thumb open kind of pose, but like it looks too loose
yeah.
for that thumb open.
The rest of the figure should be. Sorry. The rest of the fingers should be wrapping around the staff of the hammer, um, even with the thumb being out.
Yeah, it's not angled properly.
Just moving the pixels that you already got down a little bit. Um, just adding a couple of pixels at the bottom, at like each frame. You don't even need to like worry about animating it. Just have it look like it's wrapped around it. One final nitpick: the thighs is kind of weird. It just moves up a pixel and moves down a pixel. Um,
Oh yeah, that's what I didn't notice.
yeah.
You're gonna hear me a lot saying that.
It's just I don't know, just adding an extra pixel here and there will help smooth it out. You just need to smooth out that movement, because it looks like it's being animated in twos for that. So just adding like a slight pixel here and there on the ones, or the one, like frame 1, frame 2, frame 1, frame 2. So you animate on the second frame to those 4 frames, like every other frame, with a pixel moving like up and a pixel moving down, and just kind of, it's hard to explain. Just smooth out the animation. It just looks very stiff and move tool upbeat. So yeah, just smooth it out. Otherwise, solid design, solid sprite, hand, thigh, fire. Yeah, it was really hard for us to like come up with stuff for this one, because like this, on first glance, this floored us. Like this submission, like this is a really good sprite. And we had a couple of those reactions to a couple of these too, as you could probably tell. Moving on to the next one, it will be this guy.
Excelsior.
Yep.
Yeah. Why?
There's a
Well.
there's a lot. There is a lot. Let's start with the elephant in the room. It's just like the head turn. You got the idea at like the startup frames, and then when you move the hand over, it kind of just snaps forward. Yeah, now that's not gonna help.
I feel like it's reverse. It should be the reverse, where the hand is the one supposed to be snapping in place, but not the head.
Yeah, the hand is moving at like a constant rate, but the head snaps to the side. If you did this in person, like you get like a cramp in your neck beyond belief. Um, yeah, just moving around those timings a little bit, having the head be a gradual motion and the hand being snappy would sell this animation a lot. Let's not even get into the fact that there's not a lot of lean into this attack, especially since it kind of looks like you're moving forward. Yeah, like the legs imply that you're moving forward in this animation. Like this is some kind of like dash attack or forward special or something like that. Yeah, it's just, that you gotta sell in more in the actual motion of it. You're doing a good job with the stepping backward, like using your back foot to move yourself forward. That's a good choice. I do like that. But the rest of the animation doesn't sell it well enough. Like he's not leaning in towards the hit, so it kind of looks like he just stops like there. Body is very it's just stiff. The animation, to sum it up in one word, would be just stiff. Do not be afraid to bend the body when you're doing animations. That actually helps you more. A key, like a good all-call tip would be to animate or keep emotion in mind with arcs. Arcs, it doesn't have to be like, just like this really dynamic arc or whatever. Like a subtle curve in the line. That will help sell your animation a lot because it conveys motion. Do not be afraid to exaggerate it. I don't care how stoic your character is supposed to be. If you're trying to make an animation that gives off a lot of like intensity behind it, you gotta make it look intense. This doesn't look intense at all. Just bend the body more.
This is one of those cases where I would try and do it in real life, right?
Yeah.
Because like otherwise you don't sell the motion if you don't know how to do it in the first place. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, just yeah.
Also, maybe I like to add some depth on the right arm. Because it looks like it just disappears, like their hand disappears.
Yeah. I would probably try to keep the effects like off of the sprite when doing this, because it looks like you're trying to like compensate the timing for the animation of the fire effect. Do the fire effect last. That's its own. That's its own like cup of tea that it needs to. That's its own thing. I always do my animations last when I'm doing doing a effects animation last. That's just my personal way of doing things. Just focus on the effects is supposed to help sell the animation more with impact or ability or anything like that. Keep it in mind, but do not animate it the same time you're animating the body. Because your mind is gonna go elsewhere, and you're gonna be like, well, the animation looks like the effects look cooler, so I'm gonna go into that. No, you gotta they gotta be the same. Very few games can get past, that can get by with just doing the effects better than the sprites, and even then, that's subjective. For this, and especially since like the whole body turning thing and just like not showing the power behind the hit, you need to revert some of that attention from the effect to the body, and just doing that will help you out a lot. Yeah, you got a lot of work, and I hope that you use this information for the redesign.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, keep all that stuff in mind. It'll definitely help you out.
All right. Next one. What's the next one?
That will be.
We are in the third work.
This will be the cloak dude.
Oh, the cloak dude. Okay. There's not much I could see this. Like at least in the context given. The context given is that they want some work on the cape. Thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, the cloak flow, and it's for activation or awakening. In my case, what I would do is like instead of like just a simple transition there, I would add like a small delay on the cloaks. So it's kind of a small delay on the cloak itself. Because it like since it's a cloak, it kind of flaps. So like think of it like if suddenly there's like a breeze down underneath, it doesn't just immediately go.
Yeah.
It needs to like be delayed a little bit before like it goes to that pose. And you could also do a bit of like what do you call it, a bit of follow up, so like from the largest and then a bit small again.
Yeah.
And then other than that, the legs feel a bit weird. It's just me, it's a minor nitpick where since both legs are moving at the same rate, you just can't do that in real life without like tripping or something.
Yeah.
This is just me. This is just me. You could do a lot with just having the legs just bend or like have a small jump with it too.
Yeah.
Unless of course you're already doing it in air, which is completely fine.
Yeah.
But in that case, if it's in air, the pose of the feet is wrong.
Yeah. For the motion of the cape, or the cloak, I think the reason why you're here, like the reason why the animation is where it's at, is because you don't know where to make the cape move. Because it's supposed to be an activation of some sort, probably like a spell or something. I've been seeing some of your animations in the main server, and this dude's kicking up some mysterious vibes, and I love it. But it's not conveying that as far as like where it is, and I think that's because you don't know how the cape will move. Again, cloaks are very hard to animate, so I know your plight. But just like having the tail of all of it flap up, it's very hard to describe in words because like fabric moves where it wants. So the best way for me to explain it is to, if it's going to be activating something, then whatever it's activating should reflect on where the wind is blowing. So let's say the attack is some kind of projectile that shows up in front of you. Well, the wind is going to blow in all directions, but it's going to blow back at you since it's going to be in front. So just having the cape move backwards to help sell the motion of something being activated in front of you. If it's something like a power-up of some sort, then kind of like a flap upward at the bottom, kind of like showing the legs a little bit more, which is, it'll help a lot more if like the character's like squatting or something, which also helps the leg problem that Wish brought up earlier. There's a couple of different things you can do here.
Also, I noticed that's probably an error. Did you notice the shading on the right side of the left side of the face?
Oh yeah, like the cloak. Yeah. Yeah, that's.
It just pops in there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's an error.
Yeah, that's.
Don't think that's intentional.
Yeah, a common mistake for everybody. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just fixing up those pixels right there, and for that problem, you're good. It's just like a single frame. Yeah, just keep in mind on what the activation is supposed to be, and have the have the cloak get blown back by the direction of where it's being placed. That's probably my best way of wording it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
quite sure that's bad, but yeah, you're, it's heading towards the right direction. But I think you don't. You're at a crossroad and you're not sure which road to take it. So kind of look
Mm-hmm.
at his kit and see where the move is coming out first, and then make the cloak move accordingly. So yeah, right. And we have a couple more
Next one.
left before we go. Well, we have three more left, and then probably have to loop up back to the other two I kind of sped run through. So next would be
Oh yeah. We need to get
Glide.
out like a little justice there.
Yeah. And now we have Glide. Uh, yeah. This animation lacks movement. Period. Um, I see. You have the movement of the arm. I like the movement of the arm. I like where the smears is going. Probably like a little work on set smears. But the the rest of the body is just there. Um,
Yeah, I feel like it should be in motion. It's like when you do it, like don't you think like the entire body just shifts forward, tail moves up a bit, the right arm like tries to stay in place but doesn't. Top of the ears would be moving forward too. It's like,
yeah. There's a
it just it's just too stiff.
yeah.
Like the entire animation, it's too stiff. Except of the attacking arm,
Yeah.
which is already great enough.
Yeah. Like you're heading in a good direction with just that arm, but much like the other example with old Lava Man, not Lava Boar, Lava Man, Hedgehog dude. Um, it's not enough motion to convey what the motion is. Just start moving pixels around. Uh, move parts forward, move parts back, move parts up, move parts down. It's a trial and error for this to how you would probably want that to look. Um, there, I hate to bring up this old meme, but just look at examples. And that'll be the
Mhm.
best way for you to help with that, because there's a lot of sweeping moves out there. Just gotta look at them. But yeah, just start moving
No,
the
yeah,
rest of the body, and then you'll be heading towards the right direction.
yep. That's pretty much what I'm gonna say. Alright,
All right. Next,
let's go for the next one. One of my favorites.
yes, this character has stole the hearts of many.
So many. Okay, so for this one, it's a bit hard because there's some context to this. It's that we can't change the frame data that much. It needs to be very close to the frame data we already have. In which case, I do have a problem with that where it's like too smooth. But then again, it's already in game, so.
Yeah. Uh, if selling the impact is part of your main issue right now, I think it's fine. Other than at the end, moving like having a frame or so like still there to show like the ears shooting back up from the impact and then flowing back down as you're um, moving back down to neutral state. Um, but everything else seems to be just a timing problem. Um, like the jump it's too gradual. If you're selling an animation to be like to have a lot of impact, you gotta show that impact. So just speeding up the jump, slowing down at the apex, and then shooting right back down on the descent will show that impact a lot better.
Mhm.
And then just like gear motion,
We can't.
will sell that.
Yeah, we can't really do much in this case if it's like fixed already.
Yeah.
It's really just at the very end of animation just to sell the entire thing.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's pretty much the timing issue in here.
Yeah, the frameworks is I don't see a problem with it. It's just more so of a timing issue. But yeah, I hope you find that solution for that. Frame data wise, I'm quite sure that you can. You're a smart dude. Okay. Let's see.
And we got the last one.
Old sword man's back at it again.
Yeah, welcome back, little boy. Sorry, boy. Alright, so a few things already noticed. Obviously, the hair. I believe this is like sent literally right after the stream.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, this was sent in before we postponed from yesterday. But yeah, it's the hair. I think
it's just the hair.
Yeah, but you know what you're doing with the rest of the animation.
Yeah.
You were definitely watching.
Yeah, God's work.
You're definitely watching the streams and stuff, and taking our input and all that with like making sure that the legs work like legs. It's just like moving the hair a couple of pixels up and down. I'm probably gonna guess you don't really have that much experience in pixel art, but you're doing a good job. You really are. It's just when all these moving parts are going on, and then like the one thing that should be moving the most because hair moves a lot is stationary. It really doesn't like help convey the movement. It kind of just looks static, or looks artificial rather. So just start animating on the hair. You got the hard part down. Like, my goodness, you got the sword impresses me the most. Like,
I know, I love the point.
It's so hard to animate a sword in pixel art because of it's so small. Like, one wrong move and then all your pixels is just all jumbled up and you gotta start all over again. But you're doing a really good job with the sword. Just use those same efforts you're using with the sword and the clothing and all that stuff to the hair. Just like a good like 10 minutes moving those pixels up and down. You got it. You're doing a good job.
There's other nitpicks I noticed. Since the right shoulder is moving up, like moving forward, the left shoulder should be moving back, and like the chest would also like shift as well.
Yeah.
Then there's also the shading behind the sword. Like if you want to keep it consistent, the shading of the sword would project nicely on the body, and as well as like adding a bit of head bob also helps too.
Yeah.
Consistency of the legs.
But yeah, no. That's
but other than that, it's pretty much price star say.
Yeah. Great start. You're heading towards an amazing amazing direction, especially for someone that probably doesn't have that much experience under your belt. You're doing good. You're really doing good.
If you personally take my advice, though, I feel like it could use like a figure 8 motion.
Yeah.
Other than like just a basic up and down.
Yeah.
Because like there it would sell like the actual motion of like an actual swordsman trying to fight.
Yeah.
And that's just me. Could also be like small little art too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's look back to the top.
Yeah. Because sorry about that, guys. You guys wanted some nice lines on some nice information I just forgot how to speak for a second. Okay, back to Thunders.
Oh yeah, we could definitely could use a bit more of longer discussions on this. So we might limit the number of submissions next time.
Yeah, we got
We could go in depth and do this animator talk that
there's
bounce back how we would think of how it should go, and it's not just a nitpick anymore, and it's more of a really nice discussion about each animation.
Yeah, we got a bunch of submissions, and as you could probably see, and we want to keep it in a timely manner. There's no need for people to sit through a 2 to 3 hour stream of us breaking down 10 animations, 30 minutes each. We're probably gonna have to put a limit on that, but yeah.
At most, we're gonna do an hour.
Yeah.
But that's it. All right. Okay, so we'll move back from the top to Mr. Stiff Thundrex.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of things I didn't pick up on this because just because it's Mega Man-ish. I mean, I can't really complain that much, but it is a bit stiff. There's a lot of stiff.
Yeah.
So.
It's
there anything you want to add?
I think it's mainly towards on the descent because it just the jump's there and then it just stops. If your motion is supposed to convey that it's in motion, when he's falling down, he just looks like he's just frozen in the air.
The chest should be moving too.
Yeah.
It's primarily the chest, and then also where you place the head. I noticed it's just looking directly down. It doesn't lean down. Necks don't work like that.
Yeah. Yeah, just bending the butt. Also, you could just not have the head move. That's kind of why it looks so unnatural, because the jump, the head's already looking downward. You don't really have to think of where he is he worried about where he's gonna land, because it doesn't look like he's that kind of character to worry about where he's stepping on. He probably got the numbers for that in his head already, so you probably don't need to have him look at the ground as he's jumping up and then falling down. This is one of those examples where just keeping the head forward is probably better. It just makes more sense in this context. But also still with the body leaning forward, that would definitely help as well.
Mm-hmm. And it also looks like it's just really just a jump start animation. In this case, you should be just going up.
Yeah.
So it's a bit weird, really. Be sure that the head, if you're trying to do this entire thing, be sure that the motion of the body follows the momentum of the jump. It's you don't instantly look down when you jump, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's in the personality, but I don't think Thundrex would do that. It's just looking from their figure.
Let me.
It's I could see how a scaredy person would do that, though.
Yeah. Let me see if I can quickly. There it is. Okay. Let me pull this up real quick, because illustrating this will probably be better for this. So just give me literally a quick second.
Okay. It's been a second. I'm kidding.
There we go. Okay. So, again, I'm a big fan of Mega Man stuff. As you can probably tell, I don't have this example up for Wish to see, so let me just drop this somewhere or something. As you can probably tell, with the frames here, Mega Man, or in this case X, is he's not staring at the ground. He's always looking forward. There's a slight head looking upward, but that's just how the momentum of him going. These kind of animations are supposed to be multi-purpose. Like him jumping upward, like straight up, it's the same way of him jumping forward. And that's why the frames are looking as they are. With this, I can actually see why you chose with the holding frame, because that's how it is in the Mega Man X games. But for in Rivals, since everything is like constantly in motion and things like that, either you make the descent match the ascend, or you have the hold of the ascend the same way as the descent. There's two ways you can handle that, because in Mega Man X, it handles one or two ways as well. Yeah, you can probably tell, especially in the arm motion. The arm motion, the arms is giving the direction on where he's jumping. He's going up, so his arms are going up. You can either have what I usually do for my jumping animations, especially for the characters that I make. Instead of having like the arms go all the way up, they can go down, but the rest of the body is still leaning forward upward. In your example, you kind of just have things like in this contained area, and it's not selling the animation as like a big jump. It's more like a hop. Yeah, I have this example because it was just like easy for me to find this. I know Mega Man sprites when I see it, so yeah. That's all I got.
And and we're out of time, actually.
Yes, yeah. Sorry for the lightning round at the beginning. Thought we were gonna get these out, and then like 2 minutes passed. So yeah. Next stream, we're gonna hopefully we can kind of lower the amount of submissions coming in, and so that way we can really give out information that you guys really need. So yeah. Thank you everybody for joining in on this stream. I know it's kind of impromptu and all that, but we wanted to get this information out with you guys. We also enjoy doing this stuff. I definitely enjoy doing this.
Me too. I have really enjoyed this stuff. Like I'm interested to see how people kind of like evolve over time and see their mistakes too.
That's probably like the best part of doing this. Just like seeing people improve after all of this.
Yeah. And also, I would like to make an announcement that the tournament for the Rivals of Aether Extended Workshop channel is coming up soon. And definitely the roster will be coming out very, very soon too.
Yeah.
I suggest you guys check it out. And also, watch, because it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be mostly all workshop characters in a competitive setting, and it'll be a true testament on how much work that these people have placed into each of these characters.
Yeah,
and it's going to be a good. It's basically going to be a good show.
Yeah, this is gonna to quote Capcom vs SNK 2. This is gonna be a match to remember. So definitely check in on that. I'm definitely excited to see with all the tips and tricks that everybody's gonna be pulling out. Like, I know a good bit of people are gonna be laughing the crap out of this. So I want to see what people are bringing out with these workshop characters. So I'm definitely gonna be watching. But yeah, definitely tune in, everybody. And yeah, this has been Starry Eyes, a Aether's Workshop podcast. Thank you all for joining in. We hope to see you both at the tournament and at the next stream. So yeah, till next time.
Keep it simple, guys. Keep it simple. I don't know what to say in the second part.
No, you're good.